Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Today we'll be doing a comparison between the Tonex One and the Pod Express Bass by Line 6, specifically their Aguilar tone hammer models that they have on there, or rather the amp model of a um, tone hammer on it's called Studio on the Pod Express bass, and on Tonex it does captures of, so basically allows you to like take a still of basically how I look at it is it gives you this one particular setting of a particular device, um or a particular setup, particular rig, or whatever the case. Um, so with meaning that it ultimately it just how so say I taking like this SGT right here, or matter of fact this Aguilar right here because it's easier to see. Um, in my particular EQ, I have this set to right here now. It'll take a pretty much a scan of that, and it'll put together a, what they call a tone model, or a capture. So I can't go back, and it's not like a amp like these amp models where it's like it simulates the EQ section and the sweep of the EQs. It's supposed to be emulating this actual sweeping ability of each knob of the bass frequencies, boost and cut, and the frequencies. But um, yeah, they don't always get that right. These captures are actually really, really accurate. Like because I don't know what it does, but I've been modeling my gear in it, and it's exact to the original stuff, and it sounds just like it. Like stuff I've been listening to for years, so I know exactly what it sounds like, and I'm like flipping back and forth, and if I close my eyes, I wish I had somebody to flip back and forth because it's amazing how close it is. But anyway, um, yeah, let's take a look at this here. Let me see something real quick. All right, I'm just gonna slide this out the way. Okay. Can y'all see both of those in there? There we go. Sorry, it wasn't on screen there for a second, but yeah. So one thing people not really talking about is the extra stuff you get with that Tonex One. It sounds like you're just getting the amp models in it. Nah, not really. You actually get an entire effects rig when you run it into Amplitude 5. I'm gonna do a video on that as well. But that's the Tonex. You can look at the Tonex software as just something to get you in the door with the captures, just to make your captures once you used to using it, and then you just get that capture. I like to get my captures right the first time, so I don't really have to do much editing to them or any editing really. I can just throw them straight onto the pedal and do whatever I need to do on the pedal from there. Usually it's just to get it to the exact sound. I really don't have to do anything because it captured it the way I wanted it to. At best, usually I'm messing with the volume type stuff. But let's get a little bit more playing, because let's matter of fact, let's get rid of some of these effects, because that was running through a limiter and IR and a pre 1073 on the B6. So I am going to bypass all of that. And I just realized that the Zoom B6 also has a Noble, in case you Want to subscribe, like, and share, and follow me for all your bass needs and effects and all that good stuff. The B6, a little off topic, but the B6 actually has a Noble. And B24 also has it as well. The DI section, the Tube 1 on the B6 is actually a Noble emulation. So, a little quick tip there. So, let's get into it. All right. So, let's hear what these sound like with nothing. I'm going to just keep my compressor that I'm running. I'm running my Spectra comp before both of these pedals. So, just with the Spectra comp and my bass. Okay, let's start with the Line 6 Pod Express bass. Right off the back, just something that really kind of annoys me about this pedal the most is the gain staging of it. It's like everything comes in super gainy, no matter what it is. It's like it's a ton of gain on everything. Like even even something like this tone hammer. Like look at the gain. It's on one light, and I'm barely even up on. I have to go all the way down on my. That's how far down I gotta go. Compared to. That's where the signal gotta go all the way down to. But see, the Tonex is a normal pedal. It responds like an amp. So just a little quick. That is something that if you have an active bass, the tone, the Pod Express is going to annoy you. I'm trying to tell you, because of your high output on your bass, it's going to annoy you. Trying to get everything clean for your presets. But here we go. Here's the Tonex. And you know, something that gets taught that doesn't get talked about as much either is when you do go into the um well, for one, well, let's start here. The Pod Express, um, it does. I do. One of the things I do actually like about it is the amp models. I say that every time I talk about it because I feel the need to because I say I don't like it so much. I've been trying to stop, but every time I'm using it, and I've run into portions where I got to do these finger gymnastics to edit and adjust different things, and it's just like, oh my goodness, that's too much. But because even on the Tonex is simpler. The Tonex is even simpler to operate, and it has way more features. And then you run it in a computer and do all your fancy stuff. But the EQ section on the Tonex One, you can actually go in when you do your. So after you do your captures or whatever it is you do, you want, say you did an amp or something, you can go in and you can save the compressor settings, you can save the noise gate settings, and the reverb and the EQ settings with mix, and you got a dry and a wet knob, on that, so you can have your dry bass come through along with the um, cabinet and all the other stuff, all the effects. Basically, you can have an effects signal chain, and then some of your dry signals still coming through. And what that does sometimes, depending on what type of amp you're using, it allows you to retain your clarity and the highs, a lot of the treble. So that's something that if you didn't know, definitely check that out. You know, because you can set the frequency of each of these EQ knobs, which is amazing, and you can change the reverb type. So you got different types of reverb. You got 5 different types of reverb. You got I believe it's 3 spring, 1 plate, and 1 room reverbs. I just keep mine on room because when I'm using ours, I like to do just a little bit of reverb, because it makes it sound like the amp is in the room. Like it helps it feel sound like it, like in your in ears, so it's not so the right here, like right up on it, makes it sound like it's in the room, but it's around you. So I turn my noise gate off because I like to do my muting myself, and I don't like, unless I'm using like some really high gain amp model or something like that, or like I was thinking about that TC Electronic BH500, that tube drive. I only did 2 captures with the tube drive on, and that was with it on like 4 and then 6, and then I'm gonna do one with it like on 8 and 10 all the way up. Um, but yeah, this the captures are really, really, really amazing. But you can set those EQs to whatever you want them to be, and the noise gate. When you use the noise gate, it'll make it like a gated overdrive type thing, and just help when you're not playing it to be clean in between actual notes. So all those parameters you can save, and then but you gotta the mistake I was making, and I think a lot of people are making when they're doing it is they're not. Um, I was originally doing my captures, and then I would name my captures, and then I would just put the capture directly onto the pedal. I still do that now, like because I'm used to it, and it's just I do my captures the way they come out the way I want them to. Just put it like that. Like they sound the way I want them to, so I don't need to edit them. But if I did, I also have begun as I'm making presets. I'm gonna make presets for all of those, and set the EQ knobs to where I want them. Like I don't default for the bass knob is like a shelf EQ of like 300 and below, but I would prefer that to be like 100 and below, or maybe 90, 75 and below, something like that. You know, and on the highs, the treble, I prefer that to be the default is like around 2,000, and it's a shelf on the highs, and it's like I prefer that to be around 4,000. I wish they'd let it go up a little bit more. 5,000, 6,000 would be great. You know what I'm saying? Um, just to really give me some flexibility there, because it'll go down below those too. So it's like a sweep. Every EQ knob is sweepable with the frequencies, which is great, and you can adjust the Q. Sorry, there. You can adjust the Q on the mids knob as well. So that's also incredible. And the Q is how many of the mid frequencies, basically how big the frequency band is gonna boost. Um, so or cut, boost or cut. So I was trying to find in the manual with the EQ is just to make sure, but if I'm not mistaken, at 12 o'clock everything is flat, and then you can boost or cut from there. I believe. I I was trying to make sure and check that in the manual, but it's no notches there and in the middle, you know. So I can't. I'm just assuming here because of the sound, the actual sound of it. That's when after I do my capture. But yeah, that's just a quick tip, But this little thing is powerful. Especially when you run it in that amplitude 5, and you got like a whole effects rig in there. Like you got, they give you a ton of effect, not a ton, but a good amount of effects to play around with. Like at least a basic multi effect. They give you, put it like this, with this amplitude software. So say you can take your laptop. Say you can take your laptop to your gigs, have your effects rig in your laptop. Use the Tonex as your audio interface. Run that to your amp, and then you're good. So I mean that's also that's pretty sweet. You can just run this as an audio interface. Run it on the gig. Boop bop bleep. You got your effects rig in the computer, and all you got to do is take one of them little pedal with you. And it's way lighter than taking a whole pedal board. But if you don't like taking your laptop places, you can do the same thing on your iPad or your iPhone. They also have amplitude for that too. You gotta buy the effects on there, so that'll be an extra expense. But those are just some quick options with it. Just in case you were wondering, and you also get a presence. You can adjust the amount of presence and the depth of it, of the sound in the software as well. So and you can adjust if you want that EQ section pre or post of the amp models and cabinets, as well as the compressor. You can choose whether you want that pre or post of the amp model. So it actually allows for quite a bit of flexibility, and you can pull cabinets from mix and match cabinets and heads and different things like that. Like if you're gonna do that, I still believe it's better to do them separately. Like if you want to mix and match different cabinets and stuff with the head that you have, I suggest like sampling the head. Doing the capture of the head and then doing all that in there. But yeah, let's get back to this because it's not really a Tonex thing. This is like an Aguilar tone hammer shootout. So let's get into some more sounds here. Let's go with a frowny. And I don't want to mess with my EQs because it saves it. I'm still trying to figure out. And if you guys know this, you can put it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, all that good stuff. But I'm trying to figure out how to turn off this auto save. And I can't. I didn't see. I'm gonna look in the manual again for this Tonex One because I don't. Sometimes I want to experiment with my EQ without or different settings without doing that. But I guess they say that you got to do that in the software. I guess. But let's rock and roll. So those are the preamps by themselves. One more time. And so, when in the beginning you got to hear them running through the Aguilar 410s with a tweeter, and that's mic'd up with a SM57 and an RE20, along with an 1176 style limiter and a Neve 1073 style preamp just for saturation. No EQ on it. Just saturation. So here we go. Give you a quick reminder of that. Here's the Tonex first. Had to do that towards the end, guys. Sorry, I forgot that YouTube, they'll get you, boy, with them copyrights. So I got to be careful. Had to switch it up towards this. Yeah, you ain't getting my videos. They be trying to get you, boy. And it's difficult because as a musician, you just go to play stuff and you'll mess around and play a melody on accident. And just for transparency, I got this the capture the tone model I'm using on the Tonex. I actually got off of the ToneNet. Like just makes my life easier. See, this is why I love this pedal because I can just go in there and find stuff like a tone hammer or like a bunch of Gallian Kruger amps, Fender amps, um, a few Ampeg amps, things like that. Even some boutique amps on there. And all this stuff is just free. Free stuff that's been put up there. You know, like I said, mine will be available, but mine will be for sale. But you'll get all these for free, plus all the presets that they put in there when they just, when they made the software, they put a bunch of presets in there and stuff. So you know, this is they both sound good though. The the one on the Pod Express is like uncharacteristically bright for an Aguilar anything. Like Aguilar just isn't that bright. Like it doesn't. It's not that type of bright. Like SWR is like stupid bright, you know, at times. Or um I don't know. I mean, yeah, SWR is good, a really good example. SWR can be piercing. And it can cut through it just about anything like a knife because it's super. Got a lot of presence in there. But yeah, let's hear it through an actual amp. See what that sound like. Well, actual cabinet. I don't know why I said amp. Actual cabinet. Da-da-dee. And kicking cameras and stuff. Beep beep. Hope y'all having a great day. You know, keep your head up out there. You know, don't let them get you down. All that good stuff, huh? Let's see. Tonex. So that was the Tonex running through a Fender Bassman 115 Neo, right? 115 in the tweeter, mic'd up with a couple CAD mics, a D10, which is in the center of the speaker, and the condenser mic, which is actually towards the tweeter, but is also picking up a little bit of booty there. So, um, but yeah. And here is the Zoom H5 condenser mics on the Tonex. Same setup. So I think when the person did that Tonex capture there, it was done more so on a brighter, I mean on a flat setting. So they didn't, I haven't really EQ'd it at all, so I did add a touch of bass to it just because I added a touch to the Pod Express sound. Like I had the Pod Express one pretty EQ'd, so that is not necessarily flat on a Pod Express. So let me see. Dial back some of this stuff, I guess. Let's go ahead and put that there. Let's put that there. Here's the Pod Express. I'm gonna try to. Hopefully, I can get it clean. Here's through the Zoom. The Zoom is running an XY configuration, by the way, which is like the mics. The mics are across like this, but then they're pointed at the cabinet like that, which allows them to pick it up like a certain particular pattern. But yeah, here you go. So there you got to hear them a little bit back to back right there. Now let's do the other mics in the Pod Express bass. This is the CAD mics, the GXL 2200 condenser mic, and the CAD D10 kick mic, which is a dynamic mic. But here we go. I keep forgetting about that melody. See what I'm saying about the melodies? I be forgetting. Though. I was about to go all the way to the joint. So I'm about to play the whole joint. But hopefully I got out of there in time. Hopefully they not upset. Tonex. Yeah. So I definitely prefer the one on the Tonex more, and that's not just me. It's not just me being a little biased, you know. Yeah, I admit it, I'm a little biased against that Pod Express thing. It costs the same amount. This is what I was saying, and this hadn't even come out when I was saying that originally. When I originally was reviewing this um, Pod Express bass here, the Tonex hadn't even came out yet. The Tonex One, no, the Tonex One, the original pedal was out, but the smaller Tonex One wasn't even out. Um, and mind you, I didn't even know about it. I know all the other YouTubers knew about it, way before, but they also get them sent to them. I get this stuff and I do this on my own. So, um, they I know they was trying to gear it towards beginners, and I understand that. And they got decent. The best thing on there is the amp models. That's why I only do reviews or demos of the amp models. I don't even fool with none of the other stuff on there because otherwise I get into bashing it, and I try not to. Cause somebody worked on it, but it's just not that great of a product. I just don't. The quality is very low. And not only that, the quality, the build quality is low, and the effects are very one dimensional type things. Like very, it's just gimmicky stuff. Like you don't really want to use that stuff on a gig. It won't sound good. It's like as a beginner, you don't need nothing that's gonna make you sound bad. You're already trying to just make sure you're getting all the stuff right. You know what I'm saying? Like you just trying to make sure you get this music out right. You don't want this stuff like that. You want to get you something. Um, if you want an effects rig type thing, and around this price point, go with like a B24, Zoom B24, or I don't know how if I dig those Boss pedals. The new Boss pedal, I want to check that out. The ME90, but them joints are running like five something. Them joints running a grip. So I don't know if y'all gonna see one of them for me. But yeah, with this, you got the B6. It's got it's everything that does. That's a fully functional, like, full rig there. You get the full loopers, and you know what I'm saying? You getting all the effects rigs, all, good amount of routing and stuff. So that's, always an excellent thing. So, yeah, I think that's all we're going to do with this one, guys. I would say just if you want the Pod Express, get it at your own. I'm just not recommending it. It just keeps getting its butt kicked every time. It's getting its butt kicked by pedals that are 10 years, almost 10 years old, and multi effects pedals. And this one the Zoom got a new one of these MS60Bs coming out, but the amp models on here are good. But if you get this, you'll have better amp models. You'll have like almost the exact amps, way closer. This should be on this feature right here is like the features on here. That feature of capturing amps is usually on stuff that's $1,000 or more. So definitely check out these Tonex Ones when you get a chance. I know they might be on back order right now, but give it a little bit of time. But it'll be worth the wait, because you can literally take your rig with you anywhere, like, and pull up and have your entire rig right there, sounding good. You can have. I suggest doing a capture of the entire rig with the head and the cabinet, and then doing a capture of just the head by itself with the different settings. And I would suggest maybe doing a capture with the head flat and the cabinet, like the head flat with the cabinet, and then maybe doing a captures of the head separately, or pedals, stomp boxes, because I also did all these preamps here, and I did them as stomp boxes. So I have all these, and I have three of these for just the regular preamp, and then both of the SGT voicings. I got this one on my main setting, and this one I got to do one more of for the Curve V EQ I use on here. And then I'm probably going to move those to my studio board, which is on the floor. I like to call it my studio board because I don't like to take it out my studio. I like to leave it in here. But it's stuff I'm going to need for recording. So when I go to do recordings, I'm going to just use the actual preamp. I got the actual analog preamp there. But when I'm out just doing general gigging, just taking these off of my board is taking the grip off of my board. You feel me? Like, it's better that way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You talking about what? You talking about a good little grip right there. Just getting this 1, 2, 3 off of there. Bam. Putting those down here. A lot of real estate will open up. I'm still gonna. I probably move like my blurst up here. Take the blurst off of here. That's there down in the corner. Put it up there. I'll do a video on it. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And make sure y'all subscribe, like, and share. Follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus, Negus. And allbasscreations.bandcamp is where you can find all my music. And if you really want to support me, you can hit that super thanks and the Cash App, which is $REGGIE PAYNE. That was a YNE and then a BASS. Again, that's Cash on REGGIE PAYNE Reggie Payne Bass. And it's also in the comments. So yeah, just let me know, guys. Like I said, I'm not recommending this drink, but this Pod Express, but I just it's good I'm glad I was able to do quite a few comparison videos so I can show you guys this. At least the only thing that it is good at, it does do pretty okay. It just doesn't, and it's the only, of course, it's the only part that has parameters. So, but this has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I'm the Bass Niggas. I'm out. Peace.